Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's the day after Christmas. Markets are barely budging on any level. Let's see if I have some sound. Let's just double check that. Yep, there we are. We got some sound. And don't know if anybody's really out there. Robin's a little laid up a little bit today. I just talked to him, and so I don't think we'll see him appearing in here today. I can see the currencies. We can see the currencies are moving. Let's go to the currencies. We'll start. I don't even know if the indice itself, let's take a look and see if the indice of the dollar index is moving at all. What is that? Is that today? I'm trying to see. I think that's the 23rd right there. That's not even functioning today. So they don't have the indice moving. So we'll go right to the currencies because I do see the euro acting relatively firm this morning. There's the euro, and you can see that there. That is today. They're lifting it up. They had some, energy getting into it today. In other words, buyers, and you can see what is that? That's that cable, I think, right there. Let's get euro up, and there is the euro. Same thing, just a little push going on the upside. You can see it's even. Look how tight the manifold is. Isn't that something? Let's just make that highlighted. Let's go over to that. Look how tight the manifold is. I mean, I guess if we could, let's see if we make it bigger. And you can see that the manifold is enormously tight. Just enormously tight. Hey, JP, how you doing this morning? Doc, as usual, is willing to talk about the markets no matter what day of the week it is. I always enjoy talking about the markets and look at the mathematics and how accurate everything is, and how we have a very good handle about where things are going, and I enjoy showing the live trading that we do and the whole bit. It's always interesting, and there's always some type of news about something in the financials, and so there's always something to be said in the end. There's always something we can say, talk about, rationalize, question, the whole bit. We can do all 9 yards. So, and that's you can see there. That is so interesting. Here we are at the end of the year. Talk about being able to see, the level of lack of interest. I guess you could say there's the lack of interest going right into the holiday, and here's the day after. And no matter how we try to, if we make it even larger like this, you can see the manifold is just so tight. Look at that. Look how tight that is. It's very rare. Usually it's the holidays we get stuff like that, And you can see nothing is like it. I mean, both manifolds, like right there. Now that was a 4th of July, right? So right at our 4th of July, the birthday of America, we get the same way. We start to lose interest in anything but the holiday itself. We celebrate the creation of our Constitution, which has made us enormously happy over the years, over the decades, over the centuries. Now, 2.5 centuries of it. Is it 2.5? 244 years. We're coming up on 245 years of the Constitution. So, but look how tight that is. The holidays do that. And I imagine if we go back to, see if we can go back to Christmas of last year. It probably looks the same way again. Let's see, as we scoot along, what is that? That's January of 22. Let's see if we can get to December. Yeah, look at that. There's December 21st. And then I guess, it must have been a Friday type of thing, Let's see if we can add some more time to it, just to take a look and see if it's as tight. I think we're only going out like 300 days. Let's see. Yeah, 300 days. 300 days of trading. So let's make it 400 days of trading, and we'll be able to get an interesting view of the process. Or maybe just 350 will do it. That'll be fine. Let's do the magic number, 365. 365 days of trading. There we are. I think it's interesting. The fact that our math picks up on this whole action like that. I think that's always fascinating. Let's see now. Where is December? There's October. There's November. And there is December. Right there. So it's not even as tight. This is one of the slowest, tightest Christmases I've seen in a while. Look at that. It's just so tight. All right. So the euro, it's just showing a little strength. Obviously, there's not much going on. I'm trying to figure out if there's a spot gold. Let's go see if there's a spot gold. I didn't see it. My accounts are not trading today. They don't seem to be functioning, the brokers. So let's see. Let's see what spot gold looks like today. I've been trying to figure out if it's Friday's close or it's today's close. There's gold. Let's see what they're doing there. That is the 23rd also. So they're not even showing a spot market for the 26th. It's just so it's just the currencies that we're seeing action in today. All right. Can we say anything about the euro? I guess not much. You see it. Let's put it up over here. And there is the euro right there. This is the daily. You can see how tight that's gotten. And you can see we are at 44 on the green line. It's trying to lift up. And we're at 33 on the dashed line. So we are, the green line is above. Figuratively and physically. And numerically. Algebraically. And you can see it right there, showing some strength. And, and I guess, what we can really say is that there is no real participation today. But we can take a look at see how the week ended out, in a sense. In other words, you can see here, over on Chicago Quant, we just another week in a buy. Just another week in the buy. And it's going to be the same way with J4X. Another week in a buy. There it is. See that green right there and the green line above and, just the whole bit. And that's starting off this week now, doing the same thing again. Now let's take a look at cable. Cable did the same thing. It, finished itself off in a buy right there. Oh, look at that. Now, weekly cable is falling down. It's trying to go into a sell. So we got last week, let's see, what's the line say? I guess that would be like that. So that's at 62. And that's at 79. Okay, and that's December 19th. And we're looking for the 23rd. Somewhere going on in there, but I guess it's breaking down no matter how you cut it. You can see the two red hinkies. And then we'll just take a peek at it over here on Chicago Quant right there. And you can see the weekly. Ooh, look at that. Our weekly is also dipping. Look at that. Breaking underneath the dashed line, just like the green line is breaking underneath. And it's got a red hinky. It finished the week off, I guess, as a sell. That doesn't make sense. December 19th, December 26th. I'm not sure what that's all about. So now it's showing that the end of last week and the week before they're saying is in a sell. Interesting. You can see that pressure's been on. We've been in a daily sell all these days, for a couple of weeks now. Since, what is that? That is the 15th. So let's take a look at it on a daily basis. And all those sells, the same thing. Going down, 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 down. Let's see where the green is. The green today is at 23.45. And you can see it's above the dashed line. Because that's trading at 18 and change, as you can see. So they're trying to perk it up just like our math right there is trying to perk up. It's just a little minus right there. And maybe with a little strength it'll get going if they can. I don't think any buyers. Maybe buyers will come in tonight. We'll see that. So it probably won't be counted as today. So what do you think, JP? How was your holidays? Was there a holiday for you? Were you just... Are you from North America? Are you from Europa? Are you from the Southern Hemisphere? Where are you from? can be the Doc and JP show. We can talk about marketplace. Marketplace. All right. We'll give you the time to think about, to want to say something and or talk about something, and we'll go from there. From us, we'll go from the cable to the Swiss. See what the Swiss is up to today. And there she blows, the great Swiss franc. You can see a couple days in the buy. A little pressure there on the daily. Take a look at her over here on Chicano what? On Chicago Corp. Right there. Swissadoodle. Right there. There's Swissadoodle. You can see it has also been in a buy for 3 days. The same amount of green. And you can see the green line is trading in the 76s and the dashed line is trading at the 61. So, you know, it's showing that life of strength, just like we see here. The green line and the histograms are above the zero line. See that pressure pushing it up? You can see it's been in a weekly sell since back here. And it tried to get into a buy there. It failed, and it looks like it's trying it again. You know, it's staying inside the manifold at the moment. So obviously there is some buyers slowly seeping into the marketplace. And it's the end of the year, too. So, you know, those things we call taxes have an influence on the marketplace itself. So this week, you know, they've been doing tax selling, and they may do some tax buying. You know, it depends on the fund and what position they have their fund in. I was talking to a fund manager last night at a party, and they said to me, our bonuses are okay. We made money for 3 good quarters. We lost some last quarter, you know, this quarter now. And but we're doing all right, but I'm worried about next year. Excuse me. Yep, he said, I'm worried about next year. So we shall see, you know, see how that all plays out in the end. More than likely, it'll be okay. I don't get that feeling of, as much as the everybody's talking about it going down. I just don't get that feeling, and we don't normally. We usually follow the math anyway. So in the end result is we're not that nervous about this year coming around. We think it should be all right. You know, it should be okay as last year. So far, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is only down 8% for the year. That's not bad. Now, obviously, also at the same time, the Tech 100, you know, where you have like Amazon and Google and, you know, all the Apple and so forth, they're down about anywhere from 25 to 35%, depending on the stock and so forth. You know, I mean, in fact, we could actually do that too. We could take a look and see. Let's see what it looked like for the year for like a Google or something like that. Let's see. So there's the stocks. It's kind of interesting, you know. And there we go. And then if we just tighten her up, see how far back we'll go. That's April. And there is November of last year. So here we go, right there. And the product was trading, wow. Now that is Tesla. And Tesla's gone from 400. Let's put the grid up there. Let's fix this so you can see the grid too. There we are. So basically what you can see is that Tesla was trading at $400 a share at the opening of January of this year, close of 21, right? So it was trading up at the $400 area right there. And now it's trading at the 123. So it's lost 70 some odd % of its value. Let's see what, let's do this. We'll save that so we can see those lines. And let's look at Amazon. How did Amazon do? And let's get those lines up there too. Format that window. Wait, there we are. So you can at least see it now. And let's see what Amazon is doing. Amazon was trading at right there. It was trading at $170 a share. And we'll scrunch this up even. so we can see it all in the same picture. And now it's trading at $85 a share. Yeah, about $85 a share. So it's lost over half, 50% for the year. Now the index itself of the NQ, or what they refer to as the Tech 100 on Dukascopy, let's put that up on the screen just to get a flavor of all the action we've been seeing over there. Let's see, Tech 100. Where is you? There you are. The Tech 100. We'll put it in as a weekly. Right there. And you can see this is the hinkies, and we can turn the hinkies off like that. There we are. And right, I guess that's right there. Is that it? Third quarter, second quarter. See, this is ready for the first quarter. So fourth quarter now, third quarter here, second quarter. There's the first quarter, and there's that. So it was up in the, what was that, almost the 17,000 area, and now it's trading in the 10,000 area. So it's down about 30 some odd percent, 38%, 42%, something like that, about 42%. So right around the 42%. So the index itself was distributed, so there's obviously some stocks in there, and we'll shrink this down and leave that there like that. But obviously, let's see if we can do that like that. So obviously, this product is down about 41%. But when you look at some of the components of it, like there, you see over 50% on Amazon. You see almost 70%. Is it 70%? It's like 68% on Tesla. Let's see what Apple did. And we'll fix Apple with the grid. Nope, not that. Close. Close. And format window. White. And we'll go like that. Let's say OK. And then let's scrunch this thing up. And there is the end of the year right there at the $180 area or 85 area right there. What's that? 180 something is the high. So we'll call it the 180 area. And it's trading at the 131 now. So it's lost $50 basically. And percentage wise, 50% would have been, let's see, so 180 down to 130. 50% would have been 90. So it's only down about 20 some odd percent for the year. So that's not too bad. So it's like 23%. So it's outperforming. That's what's helping to perk up this right here. That, you know, that making it higher up compared to, we've just seen three of the products. One is down almost 70%. One is down over 50%. And this one is down like in the 20s, the 22, 23% area. Now let's take a look at another one of those. And it gives you a good idea of the performance for the year. BABA. Let's take a look at that. See what that is. That's the Google/Amazon of China, as I like to call it, the American colony. Format window. There we are. Use it as default. And we'll scrunch it up. And there it is right there. So right there's December. And there is January. See right there. So it was at 120. It drifted down to 80, lost 30%. And now it's at, where's it at? 85? Is that 85 or 95? It's 85. No, wait a minute. Got down to 60. 60 from, where's it at? 60 from 120. So it lost 50% of its value. Bounced down to there, no more than in October. Lost 50% of its value, and now it's come back, and it's at 85. So it's finishing the year off from 120 to 85, so we're looking at $35 on the stock, which makes it about what's that, 29%? I think it's 28% of the indice. So it's another one of those. It's performing better than, say, some of the big ones. Now, we did Amazon. Let's take a look at Google. There's another pillar in that sector right there. And Meta, too. We'll take a look at Meta. That'll be interesting to see. And see how it nope. Close. There we are. Just go like that. Format the window. There we are. And let's see where Google was in December of last year. And there it is. It was trading at the 130 area. Ran up to about 140 and change. And its low was 83. Okay. So 130 and 83, that's 17, that's $47 on a $130 stock. Let's see, December, there was December right there. And it closed at 144, and now it's trading at 89. So we call it 90. So that's $56. So that's a 33% drop. It's a little bit more than that even. It's like it's about a 33% drop. Lost 33%. See, they're not. Some are really bad, like 70%. Some are down 50%. Some are down in the low 20s, and that's why the stock indice itself, right here, right there, the stock indice itself is down basically the same percent, from almost 17,000 down to 10,000. So it's also in that, I guess you could say it's in that high 30s, 38, 39% down. All right. And we'll look at one more and then we're done. Unless someone wants to see something else in the stocks themselves, we'll take a look at the classic, and that is Facebook. Let's see how well Facebook has been doing. Nope, wrong spot. There we go. Nope, wrong spot again. There it is, format window. And we'll scrunch that up to December of last year. And right there, you can see it. It was trading at $338 on $336 on the last day of December, $336. And now we see her trading at 118, 336, and just almost 61%, 62%. It's almost like the 0.618. It's almost the perfect Fibonacci. So from 336, it's lost 2/3 of its value at 118. So it's taken a good punch also. Some of the social network stocks, I guess I would call them. All right, I thought that was fun. That was interesting. So we'll go back to the currencies now and see what's going on there. And from there, we're going to jump over to the Turkish lira. Oh, no, we go to the yen. See how the yen is. Now, that is an interesting year. I think it went from about 115. I remember writing the article. Robin and I wrote an article about it just as it started to take off. We said, we're watching, 115. There it is right there. Trading 113 open, 113 on December, right there. December 31st, it was trading at 115 and change. And it ran all the way up to 155, I believe it is. Right there. There's 151. So maybe it was 151. So a 35-point move, which is, it lost, how much value is that? That lost about 115 to 151. Makes it 36 points overall. So it's almost a 1/3 loss at one point, but it's closing at 133. So nowhere's near the damage. It's like 21% or something like that now. It's not that bad at all. So pretty good. Pretty good action in that particular currency. And then we drift over to the Turkish lira. That's been in. I think they like to call that the nothing burger when it comes to the Turkish lira. So let's see, where's it at? There it is, right there. So Turkish lira on that is December 20th, and there is December 27th. So it is actually lost from 12 to 19. It's lost over 33% in this year. So over 33%. Now that is December 20th, and basically, if you're looking at the highs of December of last year, it's actually down for the year. But when it started of this year, right there, and there is December 31st, right there. It was in the what was that in? It was in the 15 area. Yeah, 15 area. So we're almost at the 20 area. So it's a 25% move. Either way, that's tough for a currency because I don't think did the euro do anything like that. Let's take a look at the euro for the year. This is kind of fun. Don't usually get a chance to do this because markets are open and people are involved in them and so forth. Now, the euro, there's December 31st right there. Yeah, there's December 31st. You're looking at 130. What is that? Basically, a close of 130. 120. No, 113. So 113, almost 114. The high that day was 113.86. So we'll just round it out to 114, and it's trading at 106 as we speak right now, which is 5-6%. Nothing, not even it's not very harmful. In other words, it's just background noise compared to the whole year itself. Obviously, its low is a little more interesting in the sense of falling down to 95 at all-time lows, but they haven't really damaged that marketplace whatsoever. I look at it that way. It's 5%, 3%. That's just inflation if nothing else. It's an inflation action. So it's an interesting. We're going to call this webinar the yearly roundup. That's what it'll be. Yearly roundup. Like herding those animals. It's like cowboy stuff, moving cattle. Yeehaw! So, and that looks like exactly what's going on there. It's pretty much quiet. Then, boy, I'll tell you, if we look at actually look at cattle, that would be a very interesting one. Cattle is like, where it has been. I think cattle was like in like $1.20. It's at $1.55 or something like that. So that's a pretty big move. I don't think it's under that. We might have to go and check that out. See if I can find a way to go back in some of these things. Look at that. Because those contracts are expiring much faster all the time. So it's a little tougher. And there's like literally barely any open, high, low, or close. It's just like this one little bar right there, and that's it. Open, high, low, and close is just the whole day, one number. The settlement. They tell you where the settlement is. That's what they call it, the settlement, the closing number. All right. And let's see what cable looked like out of that whole time period. There it is. So cable was trading in the 130s, 132. A little bit higher. Right there. 135. Basically playing with the 135 area, 134 area. Yeah, right around there. There it is. There's December 31st, 135. Basically, that's the close. And we're at 120 something. So that's a little bit deeper down. You know, I mean, the cable has lost a little bit more, 135 to 120. So that's 15 ticks, really, and that's like twice as much as the euro lost. They really put a little punch into that. All right. Now, we'll go over and take a look at. You can see how it's acting today. The cable, you know, it's underneath, playing with its cell number there as we speak, and it's been in a daily cell for a bunch of days. Let's go back to that yen. See what the yen is doing on a local level. A local level. Kind of chill. Second day in a buy. Friday they closed it in the buy. It's still in the buy there today. And we're still in the sell. So we've been in the sell now for, what's that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On a 9th week. That's what it is. 9 weeks in the sell. So that pressure is pressuring it. You know, it's gaining value against the dollar, like we believe a lot of these things are going to do. We really do think that the dollar should be lower. And so we'll probably see more action like this where the pairs trades gain value overall. We talked about that last week. And we talk about it all the time here. As far as we can tell, the dollar is so overvalued, it you know, it'll have to come back down into the 90s when it comes to the stock index itself. All right. Where do we go from here? We go over to, let's take a look at we've seen the Turkish lira on a yearly basis as I sip some tea. Let's take a look at it on a daily basis. And there it is right there. We'll unscrunch it. Wow. That's a wild day, huh? A little illiquid again, as usual. Sometimes that thing can get really illiquid. So it bounced between 1950 and 20. That is something. Can you imagine if you that you know that comparing that to say the British British pound or the euro or something like that? That would be wild if you saw it going from, you know, 1 point. Let's see, percentage wise. Let's see what that is. I guess percentage wise, it's not that bad really, but we're used to the thing kind of functioning on 20 points in a day, 15 points in a day, whereas we don't even get a full point out of the euro. I mean, the euro doesn't go. Let's put the euro up there, and we'll widen that out. The euro doesn't go bouncing, you know, 50 points in a day like that. You can see the high and the low, like there. You know, it's trading at the high is like 105. Is that 105 or 106? That's like 106. Let's see, what is that? It's 106.50, and that's the high, and the low is like 106. Let's see, low is 106.76. The high is 106.58. That doesn't make any sense. Let's try that again. Oh, it's 105. So it's 105.76, and then it goes to 106.58. So it goes from 0.05 to 0.06. And then you go back to the Turkish lira right here. And this thing goes from, you know, the low is 19.50 basically, 49, and the high is 20.04. I mean, they don't do that. You don't see the euro exploding like that. They're just, they're nowhere near that action. And what is that? Is that a 10%? That's a 5% move in a day. That's what that is. It's a 5% move in a day. So I guess if you had a 5% move in the euro in a day, it would be like, I guess it would be like from 106. You know, 5% would be 5 full points. It would be 156. Right, 1.56. That would be a 50% move for the day, a 5 point move for the day. Yeah. So we don't see those in the what we call the mainstream or the major currencies. We don't see that action. You don't see it in the CAD or any of them. I mean, that would be like a thing going from 135 to 5% of that would be, like 50 points, would it? If 5.05. So it would be like, 140 something. It would be like bouncing between like 142 and 135. That's a lot of action. That's why it has that illiquid look to it. That right there. Someone came in to sell it, and it got driven all the way down to 1950, and now they have it trading right back up to 1988. It's a lot of. It's 38 points. We see 1 point moves, half a point moves in the major currencies. And this thing, it's zooming around like a rocket ship. It's hot and heavy. That's funny. Not funny good, just odd funny type of thing. Why it's illiquid, I'm not sure. I guess what it really comes down to is banks and institutions don't have an interest in being invested in it. Now you can see here it's trying to get back into the buy after a couple of days in a sell. So the math was reading that it wanted to get pounced on. Now let's take a look at that. A daily, right there, and the product be right, I think that's it right there. No, that's the boon. There it is right there. And then when we widen that, you see that it was red there. And we got to put the hinkies back in again. There we go. So you see here, our math picked that up. It was being pressured here. And they knew that someone was going to, they were probably, what the math picks up, what it really picks up is that it picks up the fact that there are more sellers than buyers. Now, obviously, it's down for the day, or was it down from the day? It closed at 1980.47, and the next day it closed at 1980.18. So it was down just a little bit for the day, but it was recognizing the weakness of it all. And then just like it was showing the strength here, it was in a buy here. And what did you get? You get that peak a couple days later. So the math is picking up that the buyers are still coming in. It just doesn't last. By the end of the day, it's in a sell. And then you're in a sell here, and you're like, okay, on Friday, you're like, all right, what's going on? Nothing, I guess. A nothing burger, as I would say. And then all of a sudden, what do? Bang! The math says, guess what? I was warning you and you weren't listening. And if you were long, you be wrong. And that's what the math does. It's always amazing. It blows my mind every day now for 45 years. It blows my mind how it knows that. How does it know it? How come it CCs me in, no less. It tells me it's going to happen. And I look at it and go, nah. As we take another sip of our tea, I look at it and I go, oh, so we're in a sell. What are they going to do to that? And there it is. Bang. Smack-a-doodle. Smack-a-doodle. All right. Now, let's see. Let's go over to Canada. Oh, Canada. Do-do-do-do-do-do. They do this big ice hockey game every year. New Year's Day, they do this major outdoor, like in a football stadium or something like that. They do. They put an ice rink up in the center of it, and tens of thousands show up to see it. It's always interesting. I'm not even sure where they're going to be this year, but every year they rotate it around the National League itself. All right, and there is CAD, and CAD is in a sell from Friday, and it's basically doing nada, buckus, as they would say. That's a Chicago term, buckus. It's named after a football player, and that is his name was Butkus. I'm trying to think of his first name, and Dick Butkus. That's what it is, Richard Butkus. And they said that when you ran in his direction, you didn't go past him. You got nothing. He would just nab you and throw you on the ground. So that's why we say buckus. It's a Chicago term. You got buckus. Nothing. All right, and then let's take a look at the South African rand. We're not really. Oh, that's looking pretty good from the Friday move. So maybe we've broken the political triangle, and maybe what we got going on now is maybe gold is up more than we realize. Let's see how gold is looking. Looky gold. There's silver. Silver on Friday was pushing up a little bit. Makes sense. And gold was doing basically the same thing. Both in daily sells, though. But oh, you can't see it. Let's do that again. There we go. Reconnecting. And we go there. There we are. That's Physics Boy. We can tune in to Physics Boy. Want to see Physics Boy? There's Physics Boy. Oh, where is that? That's not Wolferton. What school is that? Breakthrough Science at a Museum and Laboratory Tour. Nice. Very nice. Interesting. All right. Now, let's, what do we do there? Let's go to, where we go from there? We go over to here. And you can see gold is basically, just showing its life yesterday. And let's see with J4X. They don't have any spot on it. I mean, basically, the world is celebrating the holiday itself. Gold right there. Yeah, just showing the down move right there on these last 2 days. Like there. So, I imagine with the South African rand down today, that could mean a sign of some strength in the metals complex, which we would think, maybe they'll buy it more for the end of the year. We are in weekly buys when you really look at the metals complex. I mean, there's the gold. It's in a weekly buy and had no problem staying in there this week. And then you take a look at silver. Where's Mr. and Mrs. Silver? There's Mr. and Mrs. Silver. Oh, we could take a look at that on a yearly basis. That would be interesting. Let's see what they did to gold on a yearly basis. We're going to throw the weekly in right there. Is that it? Yep, that is right there. Weekly. And that's gold. We'll make it the whole screen. And let's see where it was at in December. So there's March. And there is January. So gold was pretty much unchanged for the year. Look at that. They even have a line in there showing it to you. It's pretty much unchanged. December of last year, we were in the 1840s. No, 1826 close at the end of that week, was it? Let's see. That's January. That's January. That's January. That's December right there. It closed at 1814. That's what they say the settlement was. Let's do this. We'll turn off the hinky. And there is the week of, I guess that's it right there. I'm not sure why it's showing us the first week of January. And basically it's showing you basically 1820-ish. And here we are now at, where are we at now? We are at 1798. So barely unchanged for the year, which is not bad, compared to a lot of stuff, stock indices and so forth. So can't complain there. Wonder what silver did. Let's see what silver did for the year. That's an interesting one. And there is Silverado. Right there. We'll make that the same situation. We'll put it up over here too. That is also cruising along in a weekly buy for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 full weeks now. And let's take a look at it on J4X right there. And there it is right there. There's the first, second, third, fourth quarter. Exactly. So right there. That is, what do we got there? That is the 21. Interesting how it does that. one spot, it lights it up. What we really want is the end of this one and the beginning of this one. So silver might actually be, that's December. December, December, December. Okay, so silver is actually up for the year. It's going from was that the 22, 20, it's pretty much unchanged. It's at almost at 24. And the last week was at low 23. So it's up a little bit, whereas gold is down a little bit. I mean, barely, not even a percentage point. Boy, but it did a long way down opportunity, huh? Look at that. So gold and silver are pretty much unched for the year. Just barely off. And that kind of makes sense, And so that's the name of the game there. What else can we say about any of that? Well, let's take a look at copper. Copper's like that window onto China. I mean, they don't really have a currency to actually take serious. So you can't really measure it by that. You can't measure their GDP by that because their currency is not existent. So, I mean, if their currency floated, then we would really have a better idea about its economics overall. So let's take a look at copper. I'll put it up on Chicago Quant right here. And there it is. There's copper trading in the 380 area. Let's see what J4X has to say about that. There it is right there. We'll make it biggish. And there's the second quarter. There's the first quarter. Right there. It's the end of the fourth quarter. Let's see if we can. There's October, November, December. Right there. So it's trading in the 445 area, say 446 area. And now it's trading at the 380 area. So pretty much it's off. What is that? That's it's like 20 some odd percent for the year. It's definitely 26% off, something like that. Let's see, 446 versus 380. Where are we at? 381. Okay, so 19 and it says 20 is 65 cents. And so 65 cents out of 3 is 30. 80 is a 20 some odd percent. So it's a little under. It's like 19% drop for the year, which is not not bad. It's not that relevant, but it's not that bad either. At the same time. They've come down from the $5 area down to the 330. Was that 312 area there? So you can see the high of the fourth quarter I guess it's the first quarter of this year. Is that right? Yeah, first quarter. And so it went from 5 and change all the way down to 3 and change, basically. Now that's a bigger chunk. They really ripped the heart of it out there, but it came back half decently, in the sense that it's at 380. It still has that's 25%. It's still like 22, 23%. Still not, it's not that bad, but it's the only window we have in seeing what's going on in that area. Whereas, when we look at the euro, we can look at the euro, but we can't look at the yuan. The yuan doesn't, it's a fixed product that they set every day. The Bank of China, the People's Bank of China, sets the price of the yuan every day, not the traders. And then, we wait for the day where they have a floating currency. And once they have a floating currency, then we can measure their society correctly. Right now, it's just whatever the Chinese government says it is, it is. But that's not the way it's supposed to work, and that's not the way it does work. That doesn't work that way. So when they say that they're the second largest economy in the world, they're not the second largest economy in the world. Who's the second largest economy in the world? The European Union. That's the second largest economy in the world. And what is China size-wise? Not really sure. I mean, would the yuan, if it was floating, be 7? Would it be 14? If it's 14, you automatically cut it in half, their GDP. What if they got hit with that Soviet Union problem where, one moment the ruble's 4 and the next, the ruble's at 13? Imagine 3 times, 7 is 21. If it was trading at 21, if they say they have a $14 trillion economy, really their economy is only like a little more than, I guess, would it be a little bit more than 5? A little bit less than 5%, 5 GDP, 5 trillion GDP, right with Germany and China and, not China, Japan and so forth. So, California. They wouldn't be as big as California. So that's always the big question. That's why I always say if they had a floating currency, we'd be able to actually have a better discussion about them. But without a floating currency, we don't have it. And they keep on promising they're going to have a floating oil gold currency someday. But every 2 years they say that, and it never happens. And they've been saying that for 12 years now. So, and then the Russians are saying it now. Now the Russians have got into that bad habit of claiming they're going to do that. And they're only going to accept, purchases in their, what they call the gold oil currency. But I don't see it being traded, because if it was being traded, we would be talking about it every day. So obviously it's not really being traded. So again, who's fixing the price of it? Who's taking the delivery of it? I mean, just the basics. I mean, you buy euros, you can take delivery of it. You buy yen, you can take delivery of it. Japanese yen. You buy British pounds, you can take delivery of it. You buy yuan, they'll sell it, they'll give it to you, but they won't buy it back from you. We used to call that the cockroach hotel. You can get in, but you can't get out. And so it's always confusing. When they put out information, it's like, I don't know how to take that. I don't want to be stuck in fantasy land. I don't know. Is that real? Is it not real? Is it 7 points on a yuan real? Is it not real? I don't know. And obviously the world doesn't know, or they would trade it. I mean, they say that about 2.5% of world trade every day is yuan. Well, how can you be the second largest economy? How does Canada trade more Canadian dollars? How does Switzerland trade more Swiss francs? How does Japan trade 10 times more in yen every day than in the yuan? Let's see. I believe, just a guesstimate, that 2.5% of the yuan trading every day is not even 10% of the Japanese market every day. Not even that. It's that small. So I don't know how to measure it. And if anybody knows how to measure it besides the official measurement of the government, I'm ready to hear it. All right. Where do we go from here? We've kind of beat up on the currencies of who's been naughty or who's been nice. And let's see. Let's go to. We've seen the metals. The metals are pretty much unchanged for the year, or a little up when it comes to the silver. So that's pretty cool. And you know what? And we looked at the stock indices when it came to the Tech 100, which is the bulk of modern society, I guess you could call it. When you think about it, like Google, Amazon, Cisco Systems, Microsoft. Yeah, I wonder what Microsoft is doing. Let's take a look and see what Microsoft did this year. Let's see. Where do we go for that? We'll put it in right here. I'll put Microsoft in. Let's see. We'll copy that. No, I don't want the dots in there. So we'll go like this. We'll go to the Amazon. So there's Amazon, and we'll make a copy of that. And then what we'll do is we'll paste it in, like so. Now we have a spot for Amazon. It's number 10 now. So when we go like that, it's right there. Now let's put Mr. Softy in there. Let's see, do we have Mr. Softy stock in there? I think I have to go look it up. I forget what the symbol is. MSFT maybe? That's why we call it Mr. Softy. M for Mr. and SFT is soft. So let's see. That's what we call it on the trading floors. Mr. Softy. All right, let me see if we can get the symbol on it. I'll go like that. And go like that. SFT. Let's see what happens. There it is, Mr. Softy. My subconscious remembers it. That is funny. All right, let's put it in here. Format. And stock. And we put Mr. Softy in there. MSFT. Look up. Ooh, I just had it. It just ran away on me. There it is right there. Add. And that'll be interesting because that's like the bulwark of all these computers at home with the, I mean, people use Linux and so forth, and they'll use OS for the Apple stuff. And I guess, is there anything else? I guess they use Windows, and then they use Chrome. But they're not operating systems. They're just platforms. They're just applications, really. So now let's put Mr. Softy in there. Okay, close. MSF. See, there it is. Here we go. We're going to see what Mr. Softy did this year. MSFT. And there is Mr. Softy. Close. Let's see. Let's go back to December. Right there. So Mr. Softy was trading in the $340 area. And now Mr. Softy is trading in the 238 area. 340. So it's down about 33%. And it got down to 220 or 218. So that's Mr. Softy. And we can get rid of that now. It's in a weekly buy. I thought that was interesting for like 5-6 weeks. All right, traders. Oh, you didn't see that, did you? I mean, I have to reconnect it. That's all right. I told you what it was. And, from that area to that area. So pretty much that's the name of the game. We're going to get out of here, and we're going to label this particular, after the holiday, we're going to call the title of this one Yearly Roundup. That's what we're going to call it, Yearly Roundup, which is kind of neat. It's like Happy Trails type stuff, It's like cowboy stuff. I like cowboy stuff. I love cowboy stuff. So we'll put that in there. Let's see. Go to there. Wonder if anybody's even at Dukascopy today. It's neat that this was able to be broadcast. They're really cool about that. All right, traders, we will catch you again tomorrow when the markets are open much more than they are today. So this is Doc saying happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders.